God called, now what? Or maybe that's just my testimony. But if you're like me, God called you into entrepreneurship, maybe out of necessity, maybe because you were called to caregive your family members, or maybe because you realized your best years were being spent building someone else's vision. If you're new to me or my channel, my name is Sybil. I am an international keynote speaker. I am known as a brand architect, and I am a professional stage builder for women who have marketplace ministries. Here's what I've come to realize, and I hope you are too. Entrepreneurship doesn't have to be hard. It does have to have an anchor. And I believe we are at a place where God is calling so many of us to say, it is time to build my kingdom. I believe we are simply returning to what we were called to do in the first place, to have dominion, to steward what He placed in our hands appropriately and intelligently, to build boldly in His name and by His design. I want to give you a quick backstory. I built a pretty good career in corporate, started my business out of necessity, and quickly realized that I was functioning in a way no one else was. I thought I was the problem. And technically I was, because the world was telling me sell at any cost, build and they will buy. Don't worry about your morale, check your ethics at the door, just get the business started and done. And I nearly burnt out before my business even had time to form into something meaningful. I was building profit enough, but I had PITA clients. We all know what those are, pain in the. So what ended up happening? God took all of my clients away from me because I was praying. I said, God, this is worse than corporate. And He did me a favor and I didn't realize it. The second thing that happened is He changed my name. I mean, He really changed my name. He told me to change the name of my business, what I had already been known for, because that business was not the business He wanted me in and it would not be blessed. So I did what any reasonable Christian would do. I was like, God, are you sure? Because this business is making money. And I could hear Him clearly. He said, I'm not blessing that, but I will bless this over here. So I burned it all down and rebuilt what you see today. So, number one, secular coaches don't work, and neither does traditional churches. I found that out the hard way. I hired a secular coach who told me to run my business this way. And I went and asked my pastor to pray for me. And she told me, why am I concerned about money? And I'm thinking about like, well, who else is paying for the building fund? At the moment where I realized I could not separate business and my ministry anymore, and I came to a reckoning. I called it the shift. I realized I could no longer be casual in my calling, and everything I did from that moment forward was going to be stewarded and controlled by God, which means I had to turn my business over to Him. God became the CEO, and I became the chief steward. Let's talk about what that discernment feeling is really like and how you can make some very intentional steps forward to get your business back on track, build your brand with intention, and scale with a spiritually led guidance. So, here are four things that you're going to experience if you are in the midst of the shift. Number one, you're going to be stretched. You're going to be pulled beyond the borders of your experiences, your expertise, and everything that you once knew as comfortable. What once worked for you is going to start to feel small. You're going to start getting a lot more capacity, but that requires you centering spiritually, mentally, physically, and strategically. So, what does this look like? You might be restless in spaces that used to feel familiar. You might feel like your success isn't quite what you thought it would be, that you've arrived, but you're not there yet. Maybe you're frustrated with old systems and old goals, and the discomfort of being the biggest person in the room again is starting to creep back up. You might even start to question if you're being ungrateful, but know that you're not. I had a reckoning one day. I was like, God, I am trying to gratitude journal, but I feel like I am telling you thank you for the exact same things over and over again. So, if that's you, a great question I like to ask is, does what I'm doing align with my assignment? And then wait for God to speak back to you. The second thing he's going to do is he's going to start sharpening you. He's going to refine you like the surgeon with such a clear precision that your decisions will start to matter more. Your voice will be amplified more. And those small errors that we overlooked, we're going to start to notice that they have bigger consequences. It's going to feel like perfectionism to everybody else around you, but really it's because God is helping reveal to you how much you're working for Him and not man. And some of the things that I started experiencing was a new pressure to move smarter and not harder, not just faster, but with a better stride. I had a stronger awareness of when things even felt slightly off in my business and my life, which also meant I had a little less tolerance for vague or sloppy commitments because I was craving a deeper clarity in my walk with Him. That means that I had to be more deliberate. So, if that is where you are, ask yourself, is this bringing me joy? That was the one question that changed everything in my business and why I was totally okay with God uprooting the things that weren't working. The third thing that's going to happen is He's going to start strengthening you. You see, you're being fortified for endurance, not to just build fast, but to build faithfully. Your character is probably going to be questioned. And this is where stamina, not resilience, is going to come in handy. I tell people all the time, resilience is surviving one night of cold. Stamina is surviving the winter. What you're probably feeling is battle fatigue. People challenging your right to be in rooms that you already know you deserve to be in, people questioning your reputation, and maybe even a little imposter syndrome is starting to creep out because you realize that the rooms that built your business are no longer the rooms that are going to help you get to where you want to go next. I remember watching a video of a young lady a couple of weeks ago. She's known for helping women build financial peace. And she totally had her reputation destroyed by one meme. And I thought about it for a second. She was unarmed. You see, ladies, putting on our full armor is not just about protecting our body, but it's also about protecting our business. So you've got to ask yourself, what things in my business need to be safeguarded? Where are the cracks in the foundation that need to be strengthened? Because I know that's where the enemy is going to attack. And as I listened to this young lady, all I could think was, she's got a delayed wilderness experience. If you're like me, you already had your workplace wilderness experience, which is why you left. But for so many people, they've never had to fight for their seat. They've never known the feeling of being misunderstood, misinterpreted, or intentionally criticized for showing up as the best version of themselves. And as these rooms get smaller and the intimacy grows bigger, this is your opportunity to stand firm in what you know to be true about you and start saying yes to all the right opportunities. To not allow yourself to be distracted by the things of the world or the things in your business that no longer deserve your attention. This is your opportunity to fortify and protect everything that you've built because you're going to need that firm foundation to stand on what's coming next. Number 4, God is going to start separating. This is what I call the pruning process. He's going to prune your people, your processes, and your ideas. He's going to prune everything that is no longer serving you well, and it's probably going to be uncomfortable. It's going to leave you feeling isolated and lonely. If you feel like God is removing people faster than you'd like, that friend from 5th grade is no longer your ally, that college roomie is no longer calling every day, it's because you all are having your paths and journeys separate. And that's okay too. Take some time to mourn those relationships. Grieve the people that you still love, but you know you can't stay connected to in the exact same way. When God first started pruning my people, I was pretty frustrated. I was like, really, God? You took away my business name. You took away that steady income that corporate promised me. And now you are taking away all my friends. What am I going to have left? But I had to pause and step back and say, what are you preparing me for? Why are you pruning these things? What is holding me back from this next level that only you can give me? And then I found peace. So, one action that I love to do, and I still do it to this day, is I have a blessing journal for every single person that I believe I had to stop a relationship with. And I said, God, give me the strength to bless them and pray blessings over them for their journey, even though we can no longer walk in step together. And that changed how I showed up and prayed for others. So, who do you need to pray for? Who do you need to bless and then release? Who do you need to start honoring from far away? You see, what I realized is when you are called, you cannot build a business as usual because this is kingdom business. This is kingdom work. And so I pray that if you've watched this entire thing, that you get everything you were looking for and more. I hope you have enjoyed viewing me. I'm going to drop new videos every Tuesday. I'm going to be doing interviews with other kingdom building business women. And I pray and hope that you will be blessed in this season and the next. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the other side.